Welcome to episode 9 of the Expert's Guide to Empires and Puzzles. This is Nittany Lion Roar, and today I'm going to be talking about tournaments. Today I'm going to talk about the importance of competing in them, the primary reason you need to, and the different tournament types and how to build teams for them, both defense and on offense. So all expert players compete in these tournaments. I'm going to click on this here on the left-hand side, the raid tournament thing, and they compete in all of them. So each of the tournaments has different tournament rules. You can see that this one is rush attack. All special skills are set to very fast. But there are a couple other tournament types as well. For example, like buff booster, which gives each active buff boosts an attack by 20%. And there's also bloody battle, in which healing and resurrection has no effect. So we've got the 3 different tournament types, and there are also restrictions as well. For example, this tournament only allows you to have 4-star heroes, and that means that you can only have 3-star troops as well. Also, you can see that there's a restriction with color. You're only allowed to use red, blue, green, and yellow in this tournament, so no purple. And that I really like these tournaments because creating these restrictions allows for creativity in your team building, and it also allows you to dig deep into your roster and use heroes that you don't typically get to use in regular raids or in war and things like that. So I really think that this tournament feature is one of the best things they added. So why would you want to compete in all the tournaments, including for example, sometimes there's some tournaments where you only are allowed to have 3-star heroes, some tournaments with 5-star heroes. Well, as much as you can, you want to compete in all the tournaments, main reason being emblems. Emblems are probably the best resource in the game right now in trying to get your heroes to be as strong as they possibly can, and the tournament gives a lot of emblems. For example, last week there was a 3-star tournament. I don't have many very good 3-star heroes. I just did the best I could with what I had. It was probably the worst tournament I've ever had, and yet I still made top 5%. I ended up with 20 Ranger emblems. It was pretty nice. So you want to compete in these to get the emblems, and there's other good loot too. The better you do, the more likely you'll get the big ascension mats, like the 4-star mats. All right, so there's a couple of different phases to tournaments. Right now we're in the preparation phase, and this is where you set up your defense. And then once you set up your defense, the rest of the week, it's Sunday right now, the rest of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're going to be in the battle phase. So I'm going to go ahead and join this tournament. And I can only use 4-star heroes, and it's set to very fast. So when I talk about building a defense for these, you want to match your heroes to what the tournament type is. And with rush attack, where all the specials are very fast, you generally want to just pick the heroes that you have with the best specials and with good synergy, regardless of the speed, because they're all going to be very fast. That doesn't mean you should necessarily go pick all slow heroes just because they're slow and now they're going to be extra fast. But it also doesn't mean that you should ignore a fast hero just because it doesn't get as much benefit as it normally would. It just depends. Just create the best team you possibly can based on specials, not considering the speed of it. Now, with the other tournament types like buff booster and bloody battle, there are some other good heroes to consider for that, but I'm going to start with rush attack and build my team based on that. All right, since we have a 4-star tournament here, I'm only going to be able to use 4-star heroes, and I'm going to be limited to everything but purple. Okay, so I think Wilbur is really good in these tournaments. I don't think I have any slow 4-star heroes to consider, so I'm not going to be able to do that. My defense is probably going to end up being very weak because I don't have any emblems on 4-star heroes that are available to me except for these Guardian Jackals here. And that might actually just make them good enough, even though they're already very fast. But Alright, so the considerations for tank are like Bold Tusk, who's going to boost everyone's attack, Kyril, who's going to boost everyone's attack and defense, or Wilbur, who's just going to, lower the opponent's defense, raise my defense, and spread out the attack a lot. Now, if I use Wilbur, I kind of want to use area of effect damage dealers, which I don't have too many of. So then maybe I don't want to use Wilbur. Let's see, if I do Wilbur, nah, I just have a bunch of snipers. So in that case, I might want to use Kyril. 673, 1034. Or Bold Tusk. He's got a lot of defense. I think I want to use Bold Tusk. Okay. So he should go off very fast. And then for the rest of my heroes, I think I want snipers. 601, 1049. Let's see, if they come at me with blue, Buddy has good defense. Maybe I'll do this. Okay, here's the thing. This Guardian Jackal has really high attack. Is that good enough? It might be. He's already very fast. So it might not matter. The thing about building these defenses too is you're typically forced to use two of the same color. That's why I'm putting these buddies in. So the last color I haven't used is yellow. I really am tempted to put a Guardian Jackal with 20 emblems in there. So I like this front setup for this tournament because Bold Tusk should go off very fast and increase the attack of the buddies if I use Guardian Jackal and Triton. And also Buddy is cool because he lowers the opponent's attack. So it should slow them down. Like my attack should get increased, their attack should get decreased. Their defense should go down, and then my snipers should be able to work on finishing them off. I don't think I should use Caedmon if I'm using two buddies. The thing about Bold Tusk and Buddy is they both have really high defense, so this is a nice way to like start out the front three. I don't think my Sonya is high enough to use her, unfortunately. I think I'm gonna go with this because Guardian Jackal's attack is really high, even though the percent attack is only 270, and really he's better paired with other yellow heroes. His attack is just so darn high. He's gonna sit back there, and his regular slash attack is gonna do a lot of damage. Especially if the buddies go off. And then if the buddies go off and Guardian Jackal hits pretty much any opponent, that should get close to finishing them off. My green troops are also some of my best ones, so having the red and the green here in the front is going to be good. Do I really not have a better yellow troop? I guess not. Alright. Well, this looks good to me. I think this is the defense I'm going to go for with this tournament. Here's the thing. You got to know my 3 stars and my 4 stars are not as good as my 5 stars. Like, I'm just not as deep. I don't put emblems on them. But you still want to compete as best as possible in these tournaments. So this is what I'm going to go for, because I just think with these tournament restrictions, this is the best setup I'm going to get. So let's talk about some of the other tournament types and what heroes are good in those. I'm going to go ahead and close that and go to my roster. Alright, so with the buff booster, each active buff boost the attack of your heroes by 20%. So if this were a 4-star tournament, that Bold Tusk would be really good. But there are other heroes, like especially if it's a 5-star tournament or a 3-star tournament, that are really good. Like, so Wilbur's good for the 4 stars as well, because he actually gives 2 boosts, and that's a type of hero you really want to look out for in the boost attack. Actually, and still in the 4-star tournament, Triton gives a boost. All allies get plus 39% increase for healing, so that's a boost. So that actually increases their attack too. Curel is really awesome because he gives 2 boosts in one. So these are heroes that you want to kind of look out for. Among the 5-star heroes, like Vivica boosts defense, Magni boosts defense. Zamkeetha is really good because she boosts the attack and then it gets boosted again. I probably wouldn't use Ranveer just because like the AI is stupid, and so like if you use him, even though he boosts the attack, what's going to result is that your hero is going to miss a lot, and you just don't want that when you have no control over them. Let's see here. Ariel, she boosts attack because she gives plus 24% mana generation, so now their mana is sped up and so is their attack. Among the 3-star heroes, there's a bunch. When you look at your 3-star heroes, you're going to look for ones that boost attack. I don't know the 3-star heroes super well. Like Namahage gives himself boosted attack, so he's pretty good in there. Friar Tuck recovers 30% health for the caster and nearby allies, and they get plus 10% mana generation, so he gets a boost. The other heroes that are important in these tournaments are going to be the ones that dispel. So Nessius, for example, dispels buffs from all enemies. You're probably going to want maybe one of that kind of effect on defense in a buff attack. So you've also got that with like Sabina and Melindor, and then for 5-star heroes you get that with the elemental debuffers like Evelyn and Frida and Panther. So you want to look out for that effect because you want to be able to remove the attacker's buff as well. Also, the last tournament type, Bloody Battle, Healing Resurrection has no effect. This one's pretty self-explanatory. I don't need to talk about it a whole lot, except that when I go into these tournaments, I still see people putting healers on defense, which makes absolutely no sense. They don't work at all. They do nothing except for slash attack. So pay attention to the tournament type, because if you're putting a healer on your defense, you're pretty much giving people a free win. And the same thing, you got to pay attention to these on offense too when you're building teams. So let's talk about building teams for offense in the battle phase. So when you're doing this, you also want to look for some of the same heroes that I talked about in Buff, Rush, and Bloody Battle. Making sure that you're not taking healers in the Bloody Battle where Healing Resurrection has no effect. For the Rush, you want to look on offense for heroes that you want their effect to go off very fast. Doesn't matter what their current speed is. It could even already be a fast hero. But like a lot of the slow heroes are just super devastating if they go off very fast, like Kunshin, for example. Where he decreases the opponent's defense and cleanses. Oh, that is just fantastic. So if it's a 5-star very fast tournament, just know that on offense, if you have, like for example, I have a level 23 mana troop and I have a second set of level 11 mana troops. All the level 11 and up mana troops are going to make your very fast heroes even faster. So I think a good setup on offense in the rush attack for 5 stars is 2-2-1. If you don't have at least 3 sets of level 11 mana troops or higher, because you want to get as many mana troops on those heroes as possible, and you're going to have a much better time. All right. Otherwise, the synergies are similar on attack versus defense. So just kind of take note of some of the things that I talked about. There's way more. I could probably talk for an hour about the different synergies and things like that. But if you have any questions about if a hero is good or should you use it for a certain tournament type, just ask in the comments and me or somebody else will answer. I have one last suggestion for you with these tournaments. You get to kill a lot of heroes in a day, so my suggestion is to fill the hero chest 3 times a day during the tournaments. And that's because, and you have to spend gems to do it, but these are gems really well spent. Because it does 2 things. First of all, if you're filling your hero chest more, your hero chest gives you much better rewards, much better loot than the monster chest. So you're more likely to get 4-star ascension materials, which you really, really need by filling the hero chest. But not only that, if you're skipping your hero chest, then you will get elemental chests faster. They'll show up more. So anyway, that's just my tip. During the tournaments, try to fill that chest 3 times a day. Okay, well that's everything for tournaments. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.